Hey, we are back. Welcome back, everyone from the morning session who have rejoined for the afternoon. Yeah, let's hope we get better price action this afternoon and, something that can provide us a nice entry model. You can see since 9:30, we're pretty much in the same range here. Nothing's really happened. Okay. All right, let's see, who do we have? All right, Queen is back. First one in the room, first one with a comment. Miss Healthy's in, JR, Vivian, HDS. Hello, everyone. And to the other 20 people in the room, welcome. All right, I see we just had consolidation during lunch. Lunch hour started here on this bearish candle, so we had a pretty sizable meltdown here on this candle. Retraced back up to about the midpoint level and then just consolidated for the rest of the time frame. Now that we're after 1 o'clock, I can go in and put in our session high and low. All right, we got equal highs. And let's see if it's been swept already. So 18,000.5. And then just now we had 18,001. So we have already swept our high. Lunch high has already been taken. And now what we'll do is we'll shift this down to be the lunch low. And I'm noticing here that once again, this is just the midnight open. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles in the last hour pushing to the midnight open, all rejecting out, rejecting below the value. Indomitable Spirit, welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, you're right, Sniper. Look, it's still in the exact same range. So the seek and destroy profile has dominated our session so far today. From the onset this morning at 9:15 until we broke for lunch, and now here we are after lunch. It's still there. Let's take a look at the other indices as well as the dollar and see if they did the same thing during lunch. All right. So earlier, remember I mentioned this level here. that price was having difficulty with the dollar. It pushed up into a higher time frame PD array, which was a bearish fair value gap by the pink area here, as well as this line is a swing high from London on Friday. So I traded through, but it couldn't close above either time. So during the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock hour, both, with the 11 o'clock being an even larger rejection, we saw during lunch, pretty much nothing happened because there's no candle body. It finished exactly where it started, and now we see it's starting to sell off, and it's already taken out the lunch low so far. Right, so we had the lunch low taken on the dollar. We had the lunch high taken on NQ, lunch high taken on S&P as well. Not quite on the Dow. Dow looks like it didn't quite make it. Yeah, we have a little fair value gap here, a bearish one. So let's see if price rejects from this area. And this is what I'm talking about right here. So far, we have gotten a rejection from that area. The fair value gap has been strong enough to push price lower. I'm going to shift back up to the 5-minute now that the macro is over. Sniper, you're right. I noticed the seek and destroy for the London session. And then, and that was at the beginning of the New York morning. So then we went through the entire New York morning. You can see it was also a seek and destroy. And for those who are unfamiliar with the seek and destroy trading profile, it's essentially just sweeping highs and lows. So this low is lower than this one. This high is higher than this one. And we got this low again, lower than this one. This high, higher than this one. So it just keeps taking people's stop losses. As soon as you set up a trade and it starts moving in your direction, it turns around. And even anyone who got in these the center positions, you kind of got trapped in the middle, right? And you can see the range is decreasing to a point to where at some point it's going to have to break out, which is a good thing. However, you can see it's been going on since 8:30. And then if we go back to the London session, we can see the same thing where it started here, made it high, made a low, made a higher high, and then just kept bouncing. Right, there's the lunch low. So we have lunch high and low. Let me just make sure. The lunch low was at 946 and 3/4. This traded down to 946 and a half. Yep. So by one tick, same on the upper edge. By one tick, it took out the lunch high. Which was right at 1 o'clock that happened. Okay, well, it took it out a little bit more after that then. But anyway, I'm going to remove this line here. So we have lunch high and low both traded into. We still have the Asia and the New York high have not been traded into. So highs on this end still there. I can try a short scalp here, just see if it works. Templar, good afternoon. Welcome back. We'll wait for it to come back down. We have relative equal lows around 946. All right, let's see where we are now. Okay, we had a slight sweep of the, about a couple ticks, a sweep of this low from 1210. And now we see price starting to build up a bit. Let's see if it's going back to the fair value gap on the 1 minute. I think that was the 1 minute. Yep, yeah, on the 1 minute. So retest of that area now. Yes, my broker is connected to TradingView Templar. 76. Let's see if we can get down to 976. Great. For now, I'll get rid of this limit order. Yeah, the hardest thing about Monday is that you have a blank slate for the week, right? So if you're looking at a weekly candle, you don't have a wick yet, you don't have anything. So you're not 100% sure where price is going in that moment. And usually Tuesday and Wednesday, you have a much clearer picture of where the week is headed. Not to mention, you also have the calendar ahead of you, so you can see where the, I guess, where the expansion points are likely to occur. And Wolf, it could be that most traders, you missed the morning session. I explained why I'm not trading the June contract. So you're more than welcome to trade the June contract today. I'll be trading it tomorrow. Um, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. AB, you're right. This price action is it's exactly that. That little chuckle I gave you, that's all I can that's the only way to describe it. Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure, Vivian. I'm not sure about Asia, but I thought I heard him say that he liked using ICT concepts during London. He was talking about how clean the setups were and how he could use the 2022 model a lot. But I haven't watched Cami in several months, so I'm not sure. All right, so we've gotten a slow grind back up to the highs of lunchtime. Highs of lunchtime is now right around 130. So let's see if we finally can break out of this range, and if price action will give us something to use as a potential entry model soon. Mm, okay. Yeah, I didn't make that connection, but you're right, Queen. 130, it came right back to where it was at one, so it's all the same. All right, so now it just took that level now. And as I mentioned earlier, we had a sweep of a low right here, even though it looks like it was the same. It was one tick, I believe, one tick sweep. And then we had a bullish push to sweep the highs. Now let's see where price wants to go. All right, looks like we're getting a rejection at the midnight open again. All right, on the 1 hour, a structure break would be right here around the center of Asia and New York high, somewhere in this range here. Time, Ray. Right on time. Yeah, in 20 more minutes, we will have the silver bullet hour, and hopefully that provides something. Maybe we'll get a sign um, during the macro time. Maybe it'll tip our hand as to show us what's coming up for the next hour. But right now, yeah, it's not showing anything. Yeah, that's true. For whatever reason, ICT says she reminds him of of his daughter, and so he really likes promoting her. All right, I thought 130 might ease up price action a little bit, but so far nothing. It's still consolidating the same range that we had been in since before lunch and even during lunch. Yeah, we'll see if ICT ever jumps in. I wonder if it's ever showed up as a suggestion for him. I think that was the same thing that happened to Cammy. He said ICT shouted him out one day. Appreciate that. Right, 7 minutes or so. We'll be back in the macro period. Oh, did he? I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. Got it. Must have been when I was on vacation. Would have been nice if ICT would have graced us with his presence and just jumped in and said hello one day. Okay. Well, we'll continue to be hopeful and hopefully he one day jumps in and actually says hello to us. All right. Keep getting close. We keep getting these equal lows 1210, 110, 115, and now here we are at 140. Let's see if we get a bounce off this 830 open here. On the weekly calendar, I did mark up that I wanted to see the equal lows swept on the weekly calendar. I'm sorry, on the weekly chart. And so, not surprising that we're trading lower today, even into tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we seek lower prices, and then later in the week is when I'm expecting for bullish momentum to return. Yeah, no, we are getting near the 5K. I'm hoping this week is when we'll cross over. Not sure which day that'll happen, but based on the number of subs we're getting per day, it'll probably be Wednesday-ish, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, let's see if this can get up to 47 and deliver 5 points. Yeah, this was a scalp I wanted over on this side, and it didn't quite get there. Then it bought up, took out the high. There's 5 points. So if you did a 1-to-1, you would have got your 5 points there. Thanks, Robin. Appreciate it. It came down exactly and touched the 830. All right, and there was a 1-to-2, 10 points. So that scalp would have worked had I taken it. 5K party. All right. All right. Well, I guess let's plan for like Thursday, Friday then. Have a little celebration. That's awesome. Good to see these scalps are working. I'll keep forward testing them, and then sometimes I will take the trade. Right? Wow. Okay. So that would have delivered right into the macro. Oh, when am I starting giveaways? Oh, when I can afford to have giveaways. uh, yes. Yes, Queen. Those are the ones I'm using. So the one I just lined up was this one. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was this one. Uh, okay. Yep. So I was looking for over here to trade down to 50%, and it didn't. And so that's where the entry was at 50%, and it hit here. Yep. So you would have taken about a point and a half of heat. And then I know they usually do 1-to-1, so it's like a 5 point. I put it in for 10, and you can see it's now overtaken a high over here. Left a fair value gap that is now trading back into, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, that's what I did. I dropped down to the 30-second and started finding these swing points that hadn't been traded back to. And so this came from the leg down at about 1140. Oh, what did I highlight? Oh, sorry. Okay, so it was, so we had this bullish leg. So this was like manipulation leg down, retracement leg, that when it overtook this high over here, right, and you get a close above, there was never a retracement back down to 50% of this leg. So I noticed that's typically how it works for them. So it's like when you find a price leg that moved, then you go back and you start looking for where did that price leg come from? And it usually came from a retracement, and then it had an impulse, and then it never traded back to that impulse. So you just, when it does come back to the impulse, you expect price to then bounce, give you 5 to 10 points, and then it might continue in the direction like for all I know, price may continue going down, but still it hit the point, bounced up for 10 points, and then you just exit your trade. Okay, so Stoic came back with another one as well. All right, so Stoic has one and T-Trades has one. Got it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wait till 350 today for price to move. Oh, okay. All right, Chuck. Yeah, he does have some pretty good breaker videos. I don't think I've watched him in a while, but I probably will. Yeah, yeah, Casey. Casey, how long have you been trading? What's your trading skill level? 2 years. Okay. Well, I'm not sure which style you're trading or what what strategy you're using, but none of my strategies work in this profile. Now, I was looking at potentially doing a quick scalp for 5 or 10 points, and that's about it. But if you look at where price has been all morning, matter of fact, let me just move up to 5 minute here. All right, and we got started at right at 9:30, which is here. We got a big push down, big push back up, and we've just been doing this. So I don't see anything in here that says, "Hey, let's enter a trade." So I'm not really sure how to answer your question. Right? And I don't want to feel compelled to enter a trade just because you guys are watching me. That wouldn't do me any good, and it probably wouldn't do you guys any good either. I mean, I do execute trades, but I execute trades that I like. And I also discourage trade copying. So I don't really feel compelled to enter a trade because you guys are watching, because you're not waiting for me to take a trade. You're your own trader with your own style. And we're just in here talking about what we see in the market, but I may hit the button and you won't, or I won't and you will. No, no worries. It's just not uncommon for that question to happen. People come in and they say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm ready to see you trade. When are you going to do it?" And mm, mm, mm. And from the entrance of that scalp, that was just gave like 45 points after that. All right, it's 2:05 now. So anyone who's a silver bullet trader, this is your time. We did on the 1 minute, just have a couple fair value gaps created here. There's a gap, and then here's a second one. All right, Snipe. Catch you tomorrow. Take care. Yeah, Queen, here on the 1 minute, I was looking at this might have been an aggressive fair value gap, but it was still one nonetheless. I mean, not a fair value gap, but a breaker. And this is right where I was looking at entering on the scalp, right below at 942 flat. Going on, Splash. Welcome back. Oh, appreciate it, Brian. All right, so this is our breaker up high at 130. Cent price reeling, and we got it from the bottom as well. Split of the breakers right near the midnight open. get back up to the 5-minute now that the macro's over. Yeah, you can see the entire price range from 8 o'clock to 2 p.m. It's about a 100-point range, it looks like. Hey, CEO, how's it going? Yes, I'm already took morning session highs. Okay. Yeah, we haven't peaked back over just yet. Appreciate that, Ray. Yeah, they did it during the last hour. So now we're showing a relative weakness on Nasdaq, and the Dow is out up front. Yeah, we have USD starting to show bullish again. So not sure if we're going to get higher prices this afternoon, or at least not in the near term, as in the next 15 to 30 minutes. I'll just keep looking at the dollar and see if it turns around. But right now it is showing bullish, like it wants to go for equal highs from 10 and 11 o'clock. We've approached the midnight open 17 times since 9:30. 17 candles have crossed over and rejected each time. All right, let's move over and check out the dollar here, as well as the other indices. As I was just explaining it, it's probably easier and better to see it. All right, so here we have the dollar starting to pick up momentum again, pushing bullish. We had the two candles before lunch trade above and both rejected. We had the lunchtime candle not really deliver anything. And then it looks like the last candle just kind of set a foundation for being bullish out of this fair value gap. Traded all the way to the lower extremity, closing above it. And now to start out this hour, it basically tapped the fair value gap and then started building up. So it's still another 40 minutes. So anything can happen. It can look just like these candles where it builds up really high and then fails and rejects out. But as of right now, it looks like it's bullish, and that should be driving down the price everywhere else. And so far, that's not happening. So potentially Nasdaq is trying to catch up with the Dow. You can see how the Dow has been 3 consecutive hours bullish, building up out of this really low position that it created during the 10 o'clock hour. And it's swept a short-term high here, short-term high here as well, and short-term high here. So all of those have been swept. It's now back at it traded up to the opening price of Sunday. So yesterday's open at 1800 is where the Dow traded back to. The other two indices have not done that as of yet, and I'm not sure if they will at all. But we can see right now the Dow is the stronger of the three. And as I was saying, the dollar's building up, and you can see it's still pushing near the high of its hour with another 40 minutes to go. Mm-hmm. William, I think you might be spot on. Somewhere around 345, 350 is when we might see things finally start to do something. Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. See if we can't get recommended to a few more traders, get them in the room for the last, we're about halfway through our session now. We have another hour and 40 minutes. All right, going in for another test at a midnight open, it seems. Remember, the New York high is up at 18,039, so it's about 50 points above where we are now. And the Asia high is about another 15 points above that. All right, I'm going to take a very, very quick break. We're now at the midpoint of our session this afternoon. There's about another 90 minutes remaining. Be back in just 1 or 2 minutes. All right, we're back. JR is playing it. Hey, what's going on, Dave? Yeah, I'm not really good at trading this back and forth for price action. I want to be better at it, but yeah, right now I'm not as confident in taking those trades. But I'm looking into it, Dave. I mean, there's definitely money to be made. It's a 100 point range where it's trading high to low, 50 to 60 points at a time. So there's opportunity there if you know how to use it. The new moon cycle. Okay. Mm. All right. Appreciate that. Low Rich jumped in. Man, 64K in 10 days. Man, that would be nice. Mm. Yeah. 6,400 in 10 days is not bad. Oh, yeah, the 100K now as of today. Holy shit. Well, since Dave's in here, Dave, do you find your strategy works best on a 30-second or the 15-second? Lowe's by himself. All right, breaking. See, here we go in the midnight open. Man, that thing cannot hold today. Okay. Yeah, I've looked at both the 15 and the 30, and the 15, I tried to look at them both at the same time, and obviously the 30 is a little slower, so it made a little more sense to me to go that way, that route. But I'll take a peek at the 15 because I do see how it's advantageous to have additional candles, which gives you additional swing points. um, Johan, you can roll contracts whenever. It looks like the continuous contract rolls it about a week before the previous one expires. Because from what I saw on Friday, the continuous contract rolled over, and the March contract expires this coming Friday. I took a look at the website to look at what volume was, and I saw volume was still higher on Friday on the March contract, so I continued to use it. This morning, I noticed the June contract had more volume by a little bit, so it wasn't. It was probably like if you had 100% split, the June contract had 55% and the March contract had 45% of the volume. So because my charts was already marked up and things, I decided to continue with the March contract for one more day while we do the live stream today. And then I'll flip everything over this evening. So tomorrow morning, I'll be on the June contract. But you technically can trade the March contract until Friday, and then it'll freeze. Unicorn is out here trading and just forgetting all about eating herself. Yep. Sweet. Where's 98? All right, Dave, no problem. Thanks for dropping by. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, good point. Yeah, who went long? Not me, I'll tell you that. Let's drop down to the 1 minute and see what's happening here. Mm. As it William, that's excellent, man. Was that your silver bullet entry? Is that what that was? Or did someone take this one? Yeah, exactly. We could clean up in a couple of hours here and there. It's like, why sit here all day if you don't need to? I'll take his advice and try to um, focus more on video number 3. Yeah, it was good to see though that I had identified this entry as part of his strategy, and that would have been the best entry ever for this type of price leg. Not that I would have been holding for that entire price leg, but the entry was at 42 flat, and you can see the low was at 40 and a half. So talking about having no drawdown and just pretty much straight to the top. And then once it delivered, it confirmed a 1-minute breaker, which kept price moving. Anyone who's on the morning session, this is where I got caught up and then lost my trade here. It was somewhere around 9:45 ish. In fact, I may have taken it down here somewhere. But anyway, we tried it twice and then price broke down and then I decided to step away, which was a good idea. Ooh, okay. Finally, a little something. Just 5 minutes before the macro as well. So good sign. Remember, I pointed out on the hour, if there's going to be a market structure shift, it's going to occur just between Asia and the New York high up here around 18,050. Let me just, matter of fact, exactly 18,050 and a half. Yep. Yeah, let's hang tight on the 5 minute until we get to the macro. We got another couple minutes. But yeah, we definitely got displacement. We had a sweep of equal lows here, down at 145. Tapping the OTE once again. And you gotta remember, since the last time it tapped the OTE, we have not made a new high. And so this OTE is still in effect. Sorry. So the retrace down and the retap of that area, remember the OTE starts at 62% retracement. Now we had a sweep of these equal highs. Up next will be the high from the 10 o'clock sort of impulse leg up. Right, the bulls are out now. Okay, there's that morning high. So before things get out of hand, let's just quickly check in. All right, so we saw the dollar, right? Remember it was pushing up and I thought we were going to be bullish there. It's once again rejecting with only 9 minutes left. Now anything can happen in the 9 minutes, but it is showing that it's rejecting that price level again. We're showing bullish here, and bullish here. So if we can get the dollar to continue to sell off and end up in this fair value gap somewhere, then we could be in good shape for next hour. All right, let's go back. If we break, where are you talking about breaking the session high from this morning, which we already did? We have the New York high here just above, and then the Asia high about 15 points above that. So those will be the next two levels. Above there, you just start going for swing highs. So you have a swing high here at 067. Then you have another one at 115. But remember, the one that is 115 is inside of a bearish fair value gap. So if you get price pushing in there and you start seeing some resistance, that may be where you want to take some partials just in case it rejects that level and starts pushing lower. Let's go down to the 1 minute now. Well, let's see if it gets supported by the midnight open this time. But keep in mind, it did take out the high from 10:30 this morning. So that was the morning session high. So to retrace now would be normal. Let's check and see this leg down. So let's see if we get a retracement down to 787, 17,987. And if we get a push out of there somewhere. Okay, let's move this level up to here. Yep. Breaker. Same consequent encroachment. The 1 minute. The 3 minute. Better, much better there. Yep. Yeah, that's always scary, William. that trend line liquidity. Just tap that fair value gap again. The inverse fair value gap from 232. Consequent encroachment from the inverse fair value gap right there, Ray. All right, so it tapped me in. Now let's see what happens. $235 candle. If we can get above this midnight open again. Yeah. All right. Everything is still moving slow. Definitely moving slow. It's also early. It's early in the new hourly candle. So power hour is here for everyone who was waiting for that. Make sure nothing crazy happens here. All right, let's see if this 2-minute candle can take over the previous high. Actually, let's drop down to the 1 minute here. Midnight open's been our magnet all day. All right, Dow has a new high for the day. All right, wipe me out there. It's all good. Mm-mm. All right, let's get back up to the 5-minute here. my long couldn't hold. Hopefully, somebody else, or if you're in a long and it's still holding, hopefully you're able to get to your TP level. Or if there's anyone in a short, good luck to you as well. Off of the 235. Yeah, when I heard you mention the 235 5-minute candle, I was thinking a bearish breaker. And then I was just wondering if you were thinking bullish, and I wasn't seeing it. But yeah, I guess if we break this, so this is the break of structure level on the lower time frame here at 971 and 3/4 or 972 flat. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody who jumped in crypto about 2 months ago or so, yeah, they're doing really, really well. With whatever, it didn't matter what their investment was, they're doing well. Let's get out of That's a good rule, Ray. Very good rule is to win to abandon the trade. Nice. Glad I moved my trade to break even, so I didn't lose much there, or I didn't lose anything. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I've been taking profits along the way too. I've probably pulled out. I don't know. Yeah, I've taken several thousand out. All right, let's see where we are then. Are we out of sync? Jeez, yes, we are. Come on, dollar. Go ahead and push up. But it looks like dollar and Dow have been kind of playing off each other. And Nasdaq and S&P just look like they're ready to break out bullish, but for whatever reason, they just haven't done it. I mean, it keeps sweeping lows, getting highs closer to the previous high, but not really doing much. similar to what we saw with the Dow. Dow swept lows and then impulse. And these two look like they're ready to do it. They just haven't done it. Yeah, and the dollar just has those huge wicks above, so it just looks bearish to me. Anyway, we'll switch back over. Let's see what we get in power hour. Okay, so now it's 3:15. So we're into the midnight open macro, even though we don't need it anymore because it's been hitting the midnight open every 15 minutes all day. Yeah, I laughed. I'm not gonna lie. Like some of them, I first started in my crypto investment back in the bull run of 2017, I believe. So I still have some that I put in back then, and here we are 7 years later, and it's still there. But I added quite a bit during the 2020, 21, I believe, those 2 years. And so those are some of the profits I'm pulling out now. I was at 70 now. I remember the first time I was ever introduced to Bitcoin, it was $21. Yeah, Templar Nas didn't produce very much today. Not if you were looking for um, explosive moves or impulse moves with fair value gaps left behind that you could take. No, I didn't really do very much. Oh, yeah, Queen. This was like I don't even know what year it was, but it was way back, like 2010, 11, something. And I was trying to buy a mod chip for for my Xbox so I can play um, out of region games, so it wouldn't just have to be U.S. games because I was living overseas at the time, and so the mod chip manufacturer had Bitcoin as an option, and I didn't know what the hell that was, so I had to look it up, and then I figured out what it was, and but I didn't know how to buy it and how to transfer it and all that, so I just found another way to pay them. But that was the first time I saw Bitcoin as a thing. All right, so yeah, we've traded below and closed below. So crypto, that should be your breaker. It's healthy. Bought it at 10. Okay, nice, nice, great price. No, Templar. I never heard that story. I'm sure that pizza wasn't worth it. I'll tell you that. So is it just me, or did price really just trade between the midnight and 8:30 open all day with a few outliers, but not much? Every time it got out of the range, it got right back into it. Whoa, put 200K in a Bitcoin at $100. Ouch. That is an extremely wealthy person today. But that person is extremely also has a high risk tolerance to be willing to put $200,000 into Bitcoin at the time when it was $100. Because if that investment went belly up, since he refinanced his house, he would have had to pay it all back. And granted, probably over a 15, 30-year period, but it would have been really expensive to make that up. Yeah, so far today, the midnight open has been a safe haven. It's just been holding price. I mean, we've traded above it. Like I don't know how many times I counted last. I think it was like 17 times. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's traded above 26 candles on this 5 minute. Maybe more than that, maybe like 28 times or so. And then at 450, watch, midnight open fails and it runs for Asia and New York high. Mm-mm-mm. So when people say they don't like to trade Mondays and without news, they don't like it, these are the days they're talking about. But every Monday isn't like this just because there isn't news. But I think there's a high probability that you get something like this. Because I've traded Mondays without news and there's been really good price action and I made some good gains on those days. Mm-hmm. All day, Marcel, you're right. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that not only did we not form any fair value gaps on a higher time frame, but we're not even trading into any because none exist in the price area that we're in. The next one is below us, and we have a couple bullish ones down here. Yeah, right here. So we need to get down to 850. That's 120 points from where we are now. Just below these hourly fair value gaps is the daily breaker structure from February 29th London low. And we also have February 22nd's London low. Just in case these hold, I want to go ahead and put dates on these. Yeah, Ray, I thought about that as well when I was earlier. I was talking about how Mondays you get this kind of price action when there's no news, or sometimes Monday there's a public holiday, a bank holiday, but also sometimes on Monday you get this because Friday was a freaking rocket ship and it just had really good price action, and then on Monday it just kind of settles down, getting ready for the next week. And it makes sense because this week looks to be pretty busy. Starting tomorrow morning at 8:30, we have. In fact, let's go ahead and just review that. I don't think we've looked at it this session. Okay. Yeah, we have core CPI coming out tomorrow. We have three different metrics in CPI plus the bond auction at 101. So as soon as we start the afternoon session, we'll get another high impact folder coming. The following day, there's nothing in the morning, so we should be good to go with trading that day. But we do at 1 o'clock, we have the 30-year bond auction. And so that'll be some volatility for the afternoon. And then Thursday, there's at 8:30, 1, 2, 3, 5 different metrics for high impact. So I don't even know how we're going to navigate that. But the good news is by the time we start our session, we're already almost an hour after this announcement. So that'll be fine. And then Friday, 8:30 is a high impact, and as well as 10 o'clock. So we'll probably really get going trading around 10:30, but something could happen before. But that's what we have coming this week. So not surprising that today the market decided to consolidate and just capture orders and get everyone trapped, not knowing exactly which direction it's going to move. And then it'll go from there. Yep, laughter, you're right. The Dow is definitely stronger today. It looked weaker earlier when it was pushing lower, but it did that to sweep lows, and then it just kind of turned around and gave the type of price action we were hoping to see on Nasdaq. It's all good though. We have another 30 minutes. It's right around 3:30. So we have another 30 minutes this hour plus the first 10 of the next hour to see if price delivers anything. Right. All right. We still have the three indices selling as well as the dollar. Since we don't have any higher time frame PD arrays, let me go ahead and add in the appropriate PD arrays for the time frame we're looking at. Marcel, yeah, I would say there is a silver bullet since I found every day between one of those. Most likely all three, but yeah, definitely on one of the three. Good job, laughing. 2.2K today. Nice, nice. Yep. And a good thing about if you're doing a practice account inside of your prop firm account is that you're using the same rules that the prop firm would hold on you. So you still have to have your trades closed by 4 o'clock. You still, or 4:10. You still can't lose more than whatever your max drawdown in a day is. So it's good to practice those rules. Marty, hello. Good afternoon. All right, we're waiting to see. I think around 350, we're going to see if that macro period brings us something good. Because so far, it's just been stagnant. I've been holding price and just taking orders on both sides of the midnight open, but not really expanding much. There we go. Forgot about my video. and see what the 3-minute looks like. Okay, looking a little more bullish here. Even though it seems like we've been, based on these fair value gaps, we've kind of been bullish since around 10 o'clock this morning, although price really hasn't taken any new highs, but it has been holding these lows at the 8:30 open. On the screen now, I'll give you a look at where we've been since around 10:30 this morning. So last 5 hours of trading. Oh, Pip Keeper, how's it going? Good afternoon. Oh, here in the 15. Yep. We can definitely, I can, I can see a scenario where we're shorting out of there. We've had 1, 2. So we created the fair value gap, and then the next one we've traded in already in the first 6, 7 minutes. There's also a 3-minute bearish fair value gap as well, supporting price. Okay, we have a closure of the bullish fair value gap that was created here on the 3-minute. Let's go back to the 5. There we go. You're looking for a sweep of these lows here instead of the equal that we currently have. $9.53 1/4. Okay, so this candle here was 1 tick short of this, so it didn't sweep that low. It came 1 tick short. There you go. If I make it very large, you can see a small little gap in there. So will it create a short-term high here, a swing high, and then the next candle take it? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see what we get. We'll shut it down at 410 and see how far we get. It's a trend line here. Okay, no, it's not. That's good. Keep going. No, Marty, not necessarily. No, if you look at the screen, this is the 5 minute we're looking at. And if you look down at the time, it's been in the same area since around 10:30 this morning. So we're a little bit over 5 hours in the same sort of back and forth action. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily bullish. If you're talking about the next candle or two, possibly. It's a strong candle though. I like it. You're right, Johan. It definitely looks it looks bullish, but we're stuck in a range. So it may just be going to the top end of the range. Not saying that it won't deliver any points because it does, right? We're in a 40, 50 point range here. So even if you just took it up to the top of the range, you could still pull 20 or 30 points out of the market. Right. So we have a lot of people waiting for this last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes. Let's see what we get. Let's see if we get rewarded for our patience. Okay. let's drop this down to the 1 minute, and we'll watch the rest of the afternoon from the lower time frame. Look at that. Wonder if now it's going to actually sweep that low when it got one tick away from it earlier. Yes. I was looking for it to long, and then when it impulsed down, I said, okay, well, maybe we're going for these equal lows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still one tick away. It equal what it did at 340. There it is. All right, so we're going for the 8:30 open then. Your bearish breaker. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is the thing. When it retraces and is coming to your entry, but is moving with a lot of speed, that can sometimes scare you out of your entry position. I will definitely raise my hand and say that's happened to me on multiple occasions. Only for it to turn around and pivot right around the space that I wanted it to, and also deliver the take profit that I thought it would. So I mean, I've also lost trades that way where it just plow right through my entry. So that's part of where that fear comes from. Mm-hmm. So we got candle bodies sitting on top of these equal lows. Hmm. Candle bodies continue to respect that area. Just sweep of a low, sweep of a short-term high. Let's see if it leaves a fair value gap. Okay, possibly. See if we get a retrace back in there. This. See if this candle finishes bullish somewhere up in this range. Mm-hmm. Yep, news driver tomorrow morning, 8:30, CPI release. And then next week, the Fed is going to talk about interest rates. So that's probably going to be, so if you, yeah, if you can survive this week, next week is probably going to be really nice. But tomorrow morning's CPI release is going to give us an indication of how the Fed may be, which direction they may be leaning towards. Look at that. Look at that. That's, yep, close in, make an immediate rebalance. And then we'll see price possibly attack that fair value gap above. Yeah, I know. I mean, some people are good enough there where they'll pull a trade here and then take another one up here and another one down here, and they'll just trade it back and forth. I hope when I'm good enough to do that, that I'm also disciplined enough to know when enough's enough and not become a slave to the charts. That is insane. I mean, that's a lot of people's salaries in one paycheck. He made the full year salary in one paycheck. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, I really got into trading because I wanted the freedom, the flexibility. So if I start making enough money to where my life is really good, then yeah, I'm gonna start taking breaks. There you have it. I think we're gonna attack that fair value gap above. Right, this is a swing point here. We have a high with a lower high to the right, a lower high to the left. We had this one take that out, but it did close below, which is not ideal. Let's see if this next candle can push above the previous high. If it can push above the previous high, then we're going to look for this right here. Hmm, look at that. Consequent encroachment now. See if it can push through and come out on the other side. There it is. Let's see if 17992 falls next. Okay, we have one of those sweeps to try to take people out who have a tight stop loss or try to get in late. See if now it turns around and continues upwards. Let's try to find a bullish fair value gap on this move up. There's got to be one. Let's find a time frame that has it. Okay, here we go. So we got the small one here on the 3-minute. We're going to see if that holds. It did not. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty and see if maybe the 30-second. There we go. We found something. Still looking for a run up to 17,992. I'm going to see if somewhere in here you can get an impulse. Anyone in a long, you want an impulse on this side and you want it to create a bullish fair value gap. So then you feel comfortable sliding your stop loss up to just below the swing low. Five minutes left. Just want to see if it gives one last push up to the midnight open. Okay. Looking promising. See what it does. Oh, I had so much hope. Thought it was going. Thought it was going to make it. And there's a fair value gap I was talking about. So hopefully people have their stops somewhere around 769, somewhere in that area. Don't let it come back on you. All right, looks like this high is getting ready to drop. Okay, it did eclipse that high. So we got him as far as 84. Now I'm looking to see if we can get to 92. So another 8 points. All right, keep in mind, if you're trading with a prop firm, you got about 90 seconds to close out. We'll see if we can get that delivery just before. Okay, last minute of trading. Here we go. All right, so far this is what's been delivered. It's been a 2.6 to 1 risk reward. I'm sorry, a 1 to 2.6 risk reward on this trade. Risking 9, it's already delivered 20 or 24. All right, last 30 seconds. I'm not sure it's going to make it all the way up to the midnight open. So it looks like it only delivered 24 points there at the very end. You'd have had to risk 9 to stay in the trade. And we got about what we had been getting all day, just kind of a back and forth action. And there we have it. Prop firms are now closed. Those with private accounts are still trading, and price is probably going to run up and do something crazy, but of course, without us. All right, so what do you think? Can you give us some info about midnight? Oh, the midnight open is just a price point that it seems like it likes to trade back to. So today we saw a seek and destroy, so it was back and forth on the midnight open. That was the I guess the resistance of price action today. But normally what happens is the midnight open is a position where if prices completely just run away from it, so if we had a complete trending day, when you get to power hour at the end, you would expect for price to start pulling back and trade towards the midnight open. Not that it trades to the midnight open, but you would expect it to start trading towards it. So that just becomes your draw on liquidity at the very end of the day if you had a trending day in the opposite direction. As we can see now, price is going to run up to the midnight open once again, but prop firms are closed. So we would have had to cut short, but we can see that it is moving towards that draw liquidity that's been outlined here. So we'll clips this and touch the midnight open, and then price will probably collapse and not do much from there. All right, let's get rid of these lines here. So yeah, that's what we got today. I want to thank you all for being here this afternoon. It's been a good session. It was a tough session, one that required a lot of patience, and We sat on our hands all afternoon, which is good. Tried to enter a trade. It broke even, didn't work out for us, but that's the way it is. And on your way out, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you get that invitation for tomorrow morning session or tomorrow afternoon, whichever one you can join. And yeah, we're back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers, everyone. Have a good evening.